many Japanese companies try to have FP&A organization in different ways to meet with their own environment. There's no need to just copy what American companies have. Even if they try to copy, it's very difficult to do because there are not many people who can start FP&A today. They need to pick up people from accounting department or business team to find good people and educate them, train them, and share the best practice and take many years. So that the FP&A can contribute to the business.
Welcome to the FocusCore podcast, where we dive deep into leadership, talent, and the evolving world of business in Japan to help you focus on your core business. Today, I'm very happy to welcome Chie Ikegawa, who has a PhD in professional accounting as well as an MBA. She is a finance professional who has been a CFO and an FP&A leader for Japanese subsidiaries of global companies such as P&G, McDonald's, Lenovo, and Kellogg's. She now helps Japanese companies establish and strengthen their FP&A functions to maximize corporate and business value. She also serves as a board member of listed Japanese companies, teaches management control, management accounting, and corporate governance at business schools. And she has written 2 books, one, The Changing Role of Management Accountants, A Japanese Perspective, and her latest book just released is Practical Implementation of FP&A in Japanese Companies, published this year. She is also an avid golfer and started golfing 2 years ago and goes out every weekend, even in this blistering heat, and hits the golf ball around the course. Welcome, Chie-san. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you
How
for inviting me on this great opportunity.
I'm very excited. I know one of your keys is to get the idea of FP&A. You're an advocate of FP&A and putting that out into especially Japanese corporate companies.
Mhm.
For you, what does FP&A really mean in a Japanese corporate context, and how does it differ from a US model?
Mhm. Um, I work for Japanese subsidiary of American companies for entire my career.
Hmm.
And I had the chance to work with the people in Japanese companies on joint venture basis.
Hmm.
And at that time, I learned something is different in Japanese companies. Actually, FP&A roles exist in Japanese companies for many years. Nothing new to them.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, but the difference is that the FP&A role mean like planning and budgeting. Those activities are done mainly by non-finance people. Now, of course, accounting people do some of those activities, but the in business area,
Hmm.
there are people who come from sales or manufacturing or other jobs come to the planning role and they perform the budgeting also. And there is no one function consolidating all those people performing FP&A activities.
Hmm.
But basically, I assume the reason is that the Japanese companies operate um, as the generalist group.
Hmm.
They hire new graduates from universities without really considering what they learned at the school. And they commit the people, commit to develop the people
Hmm.
from the new hire to the generalist of the company. So FP&A role is kind of one of the roles they rotate people. They really do not plan to develop the FP&A professional
Hmm.
in the company. So, but this is good or bad? Yeah, just different from how people operate in American companies.
Yeah. So, so basically, in an American company or a European company, basically, people study accounting or finance, and then they'll go into a company and they'll enter the finance team and be in FP&A, whereas in Japan, where we have job rotation,
Mm-hmm,
someone might go in on sales and
mm,
then they'll do marketing for another year or two, and then they'll go overseas,
mm-hmm,
work for a subsidiary overseas, and and then come back and maybe do a stint as management, and then they'll get stuck into corporate services where they're
mm.
doing the budgeting and
Yeah, yeah.
basically, right?
Mm-hmm,
Yes. Because we don't, and that's an interesting, because we don't, in Western companies, there isn't really that corporate services function that buffets between the CEO
mm,
and the rest of the organization, where all the planning, not only finance, but HR decisions are made. Almost all of the typical CEO decisions that are made in a Western company are made in that corporate services
mm,
team,
mm,
right?
mm. So you named as a corporate service, which we may call in different names. In Japanese, it's 経営企画
Mm,
or 経営管理
mm,
or 社長室. Yeah, executive assistant or something like that to support the CEO.
mm,
The name of the functions vary in many different Japanese companies, and even the name may change
mm,
over time in the one company. But typically, very good people come from various different departments like sales or manufacturing or yeah, come to the corporate planning department. And
mm,
some of them really go up to CEO level. Yeah, this is very unique. Yeah, but a very effective way of developing people.
mm,
Yeah, to the management level. But issue is that the definition of the corporate planning group or role is not clearly defined. Basically, they do everything which CEO asks to do.
mm,
Then their role include defining the strategies or mission value of the company. That's okay.
mm, mm,
But also, they handle many other things like management of the board meeting or diversity development or sustainability or anything. And one of their roles are the planning of the mid-year activity of the company and the budgeting of the year.
mm,
So mid-year planning and the budgeting of the year are very important role they play, but they have too many other things to do. Yeah, so that's the issue.
what do you see then? What's the difference between FP&A and traditional management accounting in Japan?
うん。Actually, FP&A is new terminology,
Mm,
and we used to be calling it as a management accounting, right? In Western world, there are people called management accountants. Mm. However, in Japan, like a management accounting is a part of the role of accounting team. The main role of accounting team is financial accounting and reporting.
mm,
So management accounting is only a partial activity of the accounting team who focused on the accounting reporting. So in that sense, there's no enough focus on improving the activity of management accounting in Japan.
mm,
So, in that sense, actually, I'm really recommending the Japanese companies to have a FP&A function, if possible, under CFO group, or actually any other group is okay, even under the corporate planning team.
Mm.
But it's important to make the FP&A activity as important forecast priority for the
Mm.
company
Mm.
so that we can really develop the people who work in FP&A role, so that they can contribute more to the performance of the company.
Well, what's the biggest misconception Japanese executives have about FP&A?
うん。まあ、most of them still do not know about FP&A,
Okay.
although I'm speaking a lot to Japanese people. Um, what I feel is that the executive basically really focus on the activity of manufacturing, R&D, and sales, mean business people. So they really try to put good people all to the business activities.
Mm.
But they do not put much focus on the management control or supporting functions like accounting or HR or IT or other things, right?
Okay.
So yeah, they really do not put much priority on yeah, giving good people to those functions. But we know in Western world,
Mm.
right? CEO, for CEO, CFO, CHRO, CIO, or such CXO roles are really important,
Mm.
yeah, to assess the CEO role, right? Such a concept of having CXO is now relatively new to Japanese companies and coming more, common trend uh, these days.
So, what triggers a company to start launching an FP&A department in a Japanese company?
Mhm. I have been talking with many Japanese companies launching or strengthening FP&A
Mm.
activities. Um, Actually, they have some issues in business. That's
Mm.
why they start a transformation. If there are no issues, yeah, just business grow, then they have no need for transformation, right?
Mm.
Yeah, examples are that the business slowing down, yeah, the competitive environment change,
Mm.
and the business model transformation from the manufacturing company to more like a service-oriented activities. Then, or they have major M&A activities. Sometimes, they are acquired by the investment fund who have a Western culture,
Mm.
or the company acquire the Western companies, and the majority of their employees become non-Japanese people.
Mm.
Like there are many different cases, but mainly if they have a big change in the company, uh, internal and external environment, then
That's
they
great.
start thinking, making change.
Now, one of the things that you do now is go into companies and help them uh, make this change. What key steps do you recommend for introducing an FP&A department for successfully?
Mhm. Yeah, I talk with many leaders who have been making transformation in the company.
Mm.
In many cases, middle leaders in accounting department or corporate planning department learn about the new concept of FP&A
Mm.
in seminars like this or books like I wrote. Mm. Then actually they start thinking
Mm.
FP&A is something good for their companies, and they start talking to CFOs or CEOs
Mm.
and get the alignment of management. Actually, the beginning is like that, like a middle leaders start. However, important thing is that the top management commit to the changes.
Mm.
So CEO and CFOs need to understand the benefits of having FP&A function or
Mm.
strengthening FP&A function for
Mm.
that company. So that's the first step.
Mm.
Then there are other several steps, like if possible, it's good to have FP&A function or department officially under CFO
Mm.
or under corporate planning. As I said, there are people working on FP&A activities across the functions in Japanese companies,
Mm.
but there's nobody consolidating those people. So in that sense, there is no training or career path planning
Mm.
for those people. So people really work in different many departments as they are requested to work.
Mm.
Yeah, so if possible, better to have the CFO or corporate planning department leader to have FP&A function or department or team, yeah, to plan for their good future.
Mm.
Then, but in Japanese companies, sometimes it's very difficult to change the organization structure. Most difficult thing is to persuade the business unit leader um, to have FP&A people
Mm.
under their organization or next to their organization. If it takes time to change the organization structure, I recommend to start the FP&A activity as a virtual team. Many Japanese
Mm.
companies do so. Then it's important to define the role and activities of FP&A and really share the idea of how FP&A contribute to the business. Then they start the training
Mm.
mm, so that the new FP&A people learn and develop their knowledge and skills to be able to contribute. Mm. The other important thing which we shouldn't forget is that we should have the efficient process and system improvement. Many Japanese companies are introducing the new ERP
Mm.
or management control systems or BI tool so that they can free up time of FP&A people to focus more on the value added activities. Then actually doing those things already take several years.
Mm.
So people need to be very patient and continue the activities and really watch all the FP&A people, how they're doing. If they have any troubles or issues with business partners, CFO or FP&A leaders need to go to help.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds, in Japan, things go very slow oftentimes for change. And so that's one of the things I know that you highlight in the book. but going through and getting the buy-in for CEOs, then kind of consolidating the team and making sure that defining is so important, defining what the team does so that the
Mm-hmm.
expectations can be met with everybody, and then train those people up.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What for you, what makes a great FP&A partner beyond just, technical finance skills? I mean, we talk a lot nowadays about business partnering, and that's become such being able to talk to stakeholders. Um, what for you is a great FP&A business partner beyond just that technical finance skill?
Mm-hmm. Recently, I talked with FP&A people in Schneider Electric
Mm,
company, which is a
mm,
European very famous company, and I like their FP&A concept as a co-driver
mm,
of the business partner. So I worked with them to have a good uh, PowerPoint slide, which
mm.
maybe I can show you separately.
Okay.
Yeah. FP&A is a co-driver sitting next to the business partner in the
Mm,
same car,
mm,
driving together. Mm. What's unique is that the business partner and FP&A both have a handle, and they can actually decide where to they go.
mm,
Then they both have axle and brake, so they can talk together all the time. And then actually decide where to go. So FP&A is not simply a helper or supporter or assistant,
mm, mm,
but FP&A is a co-driver, work very closely with the business partner. To do that, finance and accounting knowledge and skill is the basic thing they need to have. But more than that, they need to have passion to the business. They need to have a good leadership and communication skill to help the business leaders.
mm.
Those are all needed. Yeah.
You'd mentioned Schneider. I know we had Taisuke
Mm-hmm.
Yoshida-san's
Right.
podcast came out actually yesterday.
Ah,
So
okay.
we were talking about
I need to listen
Schneider
to that. Yeah.
and what they've done, which, yeah, like you said, they're very unique, um, even in Western companies, how they business partner, and
Mm-hmm.
um, in speaking with Endo-san over there as well, how their mindset is just very
Yes.
different from a lot of other companies.
Mm-hmm.
That one, that they have to have passion and a growth mindset, and
Mm-hmm.
really looking at how to improve the business, and
Right.
the passion really shows through with them. And I think it's a lot of companies, we talk about business partnering, but not about passion
Mm-hmm.
for the business and improving the business and being a driver of that. The other one I think we might have talked about when last year, when with the panel discussion, was a lot about storytelling
Mm-hmm.
and being able
Mm.
to tell simply
Mm-hmm.
for stakeholders what the story of what's going on with the business, because it's just so difficult sometimes just to see the numbers.
Mm. Yeah, just seeing the numbers, showing the numbers, and showing the result of analysis don't really make the change in the business,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So
mm,
FP&A do not sell or manufacturer or research or anything, but they are the, finance
mm,
professional. So they need to find the people who are actually doing the business activities in the organization
mm,
and go to talk to them and find how they can motivate the business people to do more and better,
mm,
right? Yeah, so it's really very difficult role, challenging.
mm.
Yeah, but if they do well, they can really contribute and the change on the business performance of the company.
Mm. That's brilliant. Again, speaking with Yoshida-san, one of the things I loved hearing is that their FP&A partners are not allowed on their ERP system.
うん。
That's not their job. Their job is to speak to the
うん
stakeholders,
うん。Right. Yes.
not to be sitting in front of a computer doing reports.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
just thought that's
うん。
brilliant.
う
So
ん。
yeah, they don't touch SAP and they don't, they need to go and think and work with the business.
うん。in that sense, we really recommend to have the separate FP&A function,
Mm,
not in the accounting team,
yeah.
because the accounting team is busy on closing books
Mm,
on certain days in a month. Yeah, but the business run every day. So FP&A need to free up their time to
mm,
talk to business people anytime, even in accounting closing period.
yeah.
Mm.
But now I meet, my job's executive recruiting, and so I meet many accountants who early in their career
Mm-hmm.
want to start doing FP&A. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's how they've built their career growth and in their mind. What how can finance, how do you see accountants being able to reskill themselves so that they can step successfully in as an FP&A professional?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is very frequent question.
Mm,
Yeah, I have, and I have been talking. As we say, in Western world, many people who really studied accounting and finance or having CPA qualification or MBA
mm,
come to FP&A,
mm,
right? However, in Japan, there's no such history so far.
yeah.
So one way is that the people in accounting department come to FP&A role, but we need to be very, very careful, right? As we already said, the FP&A role needs a passion and leadership and communication skill, and also interest to the business,
Mm,
right? So if we have people from accounting to FP&A role, yeah, we need to really question if the person have such a, tendency to be closer to business. So if people really in accounting really like accounting role and a reporting role, or more like a technical activities in financing or taxes,
mm,
it's better that they do not come to FP&A, right? So yeah, that's very important thing. Then in Japanese companies, actually we see many cases like business people come to FP&A role, like people from the sales or manufacturing or R&D or any other functions like system engineer.
mm,
Then some of them, actually most of them do very successfully in FP&A role. The reason is that the really important thing for FP&A role is the passion to the business, interest on the business, knowledge and experience of the business,
mm,
and they know very well about the process, operating process of the company.
mm,
But of course, if they want to be very good FP&A, they need to spend time on learning. So that's important. So actually, we provide a lot of materials for their studies for FP&A, not only accounting, finance,
mm,
but also business and digital, right? The once they actually have a good learning, the business people become very good FP&A.
mm. Okay. So it's really about being commercial and understanding the commercial side of the
Mm-hmm.
business and having those
Right.
good communication skills. I know in over recent years, just because of a shortage of FP&A professionals in Japan and just shortage of individuals in general, that's a step where a lot of foreigners are able to come into companies and do FP&A
うん、
because a lot of times their Western counterparts have some good commercial experience and strong communication skills, especially to be able to communicate with headquarters or APAC,
うん、
and being able to have those strong English
うん、
communication skills
う
as
ん、
well as being able to pick up the Japanese skills. So
うん、
it's one of those areas more so than accounting where a
うん。
foreigner can come into Japan
ああ、
and
OK。
enter
うん、
FP&As from what I've seen.
うん。That's good.
Yeah, it's
う
quite
ん、
interesting. Now, one of the things that your book lays out so well is it has a lot of case studies
うん、
of companies that have gone through this transformation. Let's go through and I'd love to highlight a couple. Maybe you could walk us through. I thought Fujitsu's
うん、
FP&A transformation. Tell me more about that.
うん。Yeah, actually, I have been helping them
Mm,
for transformation for the beginning 4 years. うん。Maybe I can talk about several specific good thing about them.
mm, mm,
One is that the Fujitsu already started the DX
mm-hmm,
around 2020.
mm-hmm,
So they have refreshed the ERPs and introduced the good management accounting systems. Then at that time, they recognize that the DX is not sufficient to really make a good change on the decision making
okay.
of the company. So they notice that the transformation of people is also important. So there's a very great middle business leader in accounting department, and that person came to me, yeah, to work together, right? So that guy talked with the CFO and CEO, and the actual CEO persuaded other executives of the company. So they made a big transformation
Mm,
of the organization. Uh, After 2 years of beginning of the FP&A
mm,
organization planning, mm. then at the the same time, actually, the company is making the big transformation of the culture.
mm,
That also helped the FP&A becoming very successful. It's very famous that Fujitsu announced that they stopped the traditional hiring of new graduates from universities,
mm,
traditional Japanese way. Mm. Then, yeah, instead, they actually hire good people for good positions
mm,
as the Western people do. Mm. And also, they changed the organization, HR system to more like a job type way,
mm.
mm, very much ahead to other Japanese companies. So FP&A concept and activities fit with their culture transformation of the company.
So my takeaway from that is one, they had a champion.
Hmm.
It helped to have, one person in there championing this. And then also they had so many transformations going on that this was just one more that was able to come together as well
Hmm.
and
Right.
fit that puzzle together. What about you also talk the wonderful company Ajinomoto,
Hmm.
um, and they have diverse businesses. How do they go through and standardize, but still not lose agility as a
Hmm.
company?
Mm. Um, Ajinomoto had the organization structure which is a very traditional Japanese way,
Mm,
very strong business units and the small corporate function.
okay.
Mm. They made a big change in overall management control. system.
Mm.
Again, same situation as the middle leader in accounting department. Attended the seminar outside of the company and learned an FP&A
Mm.
and the persuaded the CFO and CEO of the company to make the change. Similar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Ajinomoto historically had the many people working on the budgeting in
Mm.
business units who are not the accounting people. Mm. So CFO and the middle leader in accounting department started walking around,
Mhm.
seeing people in business units, and invited the good people working on the budgeting in business units to come together and work
Mhm.
in FP&A team. They also spent several years actually. They started FP&A team on a very small scale, only on selected one or two business units.
Mm.
And as it worked well, they increased the number of business units participating in FP&A activities. And now CFO has a larger FP&A team, including overseas
Mm.
in Ajinomoto. Very good thing is the CFO of Ajinomoto is the person who really eager to learn. Mm. He talks with other FP&A people in organization in Japan and overseas, and they really collect the good practice inside the company,
Mm.
and also really like to talk with the people in other companies. Mm. Then share the best practice and improve their level of FP&A activities to higher level.
Mm.
Mm. That's how they're doing.
That's great. Thank you for that. I like that example, especially, emphasizing how it took time to do and kind of the domino effect of just doing little bits
Mm-hmm.
and gain success and gain
Yeah.
momentum before rolling, instead of just wholeheartedly rolling it all out, which can be quite disruptive to a business. Let's one more, which was interesting, is Kirin,
Mm.
because Kirin's FP&A leads the dialogue between the corporate and operating companies. Why is this so powerful?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, Kirin is the company everybody knows in Japan.
Mm.
Uh, at the beginning, they had only Kirin beer company,
Mm.
right? Then they extended the business to other than beer, beverage, or medicine.
Mhm.
And they actually acquire the companies outside of Japan, and they become very large
Mm.
conglomerate,
Yeah.
having the holding company on the top. So management control become much more difficult than before. So they decided to have FP&A in holding company, and they send FP&A people to the subsidiaries. Mm. In their business controlling planning department, inside of the controlling department of the subsidiary, they have FP&A
Okay.
inside of it.
Mm.
Then they started the long-term future planning, like 9 years,
Mm.
yeah, together with the holding FP&A and the corporate planning people,
Mm.
and also then corporate business planning people and FP&A in subsidiary. So they call it as the strategic dialogue of the holding company and the subsidiary.
Mm.
Yeah, they say they do the regular and official dialogue twice a year. Then they together develop the financial planning of future 9 years.
Mm.
Mm. Of course, considering all the business environment changes.
Mm.
Then they calculate the corporate value of the company, consolidating all the business value, and making sure that the such a complicated conglomerate company structures do not damage, but
Mm.
even actually improve or enlarge the corporate value overall. So FP&A really, is a good activity to maximize the corporate value of Kirin
That's
Group.
great.
Mm.
What a great example. Thank you for that. So let's move on to the future of
Mm-hmm.
FP&A.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of the hot topics always is AI, and analytics and how that fits in. How do you see AI and data analytics reshaping the FP&A function?
Mm-hmm. Actually, when I was personally working as the CFO or FP&A in the American company, the AI or digital were not so uh, big activities. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but very different now, right? So AI or digital skill is a part of FP&A skills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, basically, I talk with young people in FP&A functions, even in Japanese companies. Actually, they even voluntarily learn how to use BI tool, how to use AI. Then many companies start doing the sales forecasting or expense planning using AI. They actually still continue people estimating or pay people committing the sales or expense. But they also parallelly do the estimating by AI or digital and
Mm-hmm.
really compare and improve the accuracy for the future. That's what I'm learning, talking with the current FP&A people.
It's interesting. I think was it I was speaking to someone from one of your old companies, P&G, where they've basically started creating global hubs
Mm,
for and instead of offshoring it, they're offshoring it to AI
mm,
centers
mm,
around the world,
mm, 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 mm,
um, and there'll just be fewer and fewer
mm.
FP&A on the ground.
That's right. Yeah. Mm. So previously, FP&A spend a lot of time actually taking data from the system,
Mm,
put on Excel, and calculate and right, copy the chart to the PowerPoint, then send to by email and explaining, and those all things are done by, yeah, the system. So FP&A really need to focus on what to do next, right? Yeah.
and to me, that's always the exciting opportunity of
Mm-hmm.
AI. I think there's always conversations that, oh, I'm going to lose my job to AI. And I think, no, you're going to lose your job if you don't embrace AI and learn how to use it as a
Right.
tool,
Yeah.
um, and then how to accentuate what the human capability is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that decision making is a big part of that, like
Right.
you
Yeah.
mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
How, if you had to give one piece of advice to CFOs in Japan about FP&A, what would that be?
Mm-hmm. Actually, in the last several years, actually, I see many Japanese companies having the person called CFO.
Mm,
Mm. And some of them are still managing only accounting function, but some of them started having a corporate planning team together under CFO, like American companies. So I see those are very good trend. Mm. Then, yeah, so really advice is to learn what's happening in Western world and also in Japanese companies, and do not hesitate to make changes or transformation in their CFO organization. And I can really help CFOs in Japanese companies who have interest in making good change in the organization. Yeah, a good thing is that we have many case studies now. Many Japanese companies try to have FP&A organization in different ways to meet with their own environment. There's no need to just copy what American companies have. Even if they try to copy, it's very difficult to do because there are not many people who can start FP&A today. They need to pick up people from accounting department or business team to find good people and educate them, train them, and share the best practice and take many years so that the FP&A can contribute to the business. So there are many opportunities to learn how other Japanese companies are doing. Right. So I really recommend the CFO or FP&A leader or anybody who are interested in FP&A activities. Yeah. Come to me to talk.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put links to you and to your books
Yes.
on the show notes. I think you're very well respected as a huge advocate of FP&A and a leader within the industry, and very well known. So I felt so lucky to have you here today and to talk to you about FP&A and about your books. Thank you so much, Chie-san. It's been a delight to chat with you.
Thank you very much.
I'm doing the uptown